What's going on YouTube? It's Ben. Thanks for checking out my channel once again. If you have not hit the subscribe button yet down below, please do so right now. I would so much appreciate it. Today's video is going to be short and sweet. I want to get right down to the message. I think it's a super important message and it could be life-changing, definitely business-changing for you. It has been for me. So like it says in the title, this is all about vision, okay? So having a vision and how important that is in life and specifically in business. So you've probably heard before people say failing to plan means you plan to fail. That adage is very true. You have to have a vision when you're doing anything. If you're simply building a deck behind your house, okay, you have to have a vision on what that's going to look like and what you're going to need to actually produce that and finalize the project. If you're simply completing a task, you need to know what order you're going to do things in, right? There's simple ways to have vision, but I'm talking about other things. I'm talking about going for the stars, like your moonshot. You know, what you're actually planning on taking all the way and going all in on. So for me, it's my recruiting agency that I started and my business and a couple other businesses that I'm venturing into. My vision for those is very strong, it's very accurate, and it's really specific. The reason that it's so is because that's the way you actually accomplish things. So being a visionary about what you're doing is super, super important, because otherwise you're basically going to be flailing around and essentially not accomplishing anything because you don't actually know what you want to accomplish, if that makes sense. That's really simple logic, but I'll go over it once more. If you don't have a vision for something that you want to accomplish, you're going to flail around because you don't actually know what you want to accomplish. So having a vision is massively important in business, and taking that vision and utilizing it every single day to actually harness it and say, okay, today I'm going to do this, 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 or this, or this week I'm going to do this, this, and this, or by this month I'm going to accomplish this, or this, or this, or this. I've used this in my own agency, in my businesses that I've started, and things that I've done, and it's super huge for me, because what it does is ultimately it gives you an actual picture in your head of what you're going to get once you're done, which is really, really cool to see, because then you can imagine yourself, you know, at that point once you hit the mountain peak, and you can actually feel what it feels like to start, you know, meeting those goals and hitting those thresholds. But it also gives you a chance to, you know, kind of deliver on metrics for yourself, right? So, you know, if you say, okay, I'm going to cold call 20 people every single day for 20 days straight, right? You have metrics that you're going to hit, and with that in mind, every single time you make that cold call, that vision is in your head, and you know why you're doing why you're doing what you're doing. And that ties into a whole other thing about your why, you know, knowing why you're doing what you're doing. It's kind of the same thing. Having a vision and your why are almost the same thing. So knowing why you're doing something, knowing what the end goal is going to be, is the most important thing in actually accomplishing something specific, right? So part of my vision is making massive amounts of money in business, right? So I do things like I have this up on my wall behind me, right? That's part of my vision, right? That's my perspective, okay? That's what I keep in my head. I don't think small. I try to think really, really large. So my vision is huge. My vision is, you know, millions of dollars a year in revenue, and eventually $1 billion company, right? My vision isn't like, how can I get through the day and, you know, be a wage slave, or what's the best job that I can get that gives me the most vacation time. My vision is way larger than that. Vision is insanely important when you think about it in those terms, because it's the difference between settling for something that's ridiculously low for your value, your self-worth, and aiming for something that you deserve, that's super huge, that you actually can attain, and believing that you can attain it. So having a solid vision helps you actually believe that you can attain something. When you put into your mind and say, my vision is I'm going to hold this in my hand, I'm going to be able to accomplish, you know, X amount of revenue at X amount of time. And then you reverse engineer and you say, okay, what is that $100,000 going to take to get to? Well, on average, it's going to be about $12,000 a month, right, in revenue. How many clients do you need for that? How many cold calls? How many emails? What do you need to do for reach outs to get there? And that's the things you go through when you have that vision in mind. But the entire time, your perspective, your vision is focused on the end goal and not exactly the how and all the mechanics of it. But those things fall into place when you have vision. So what my biggest expression to you in this video is, have a vision, make a vision. If you don't have one right now, stop, take an hour, take 2 hours, maybe it just takes 30 minutes, but pick your vision out and pick exactly what it looks like out to you, and then stick with that vision and hold on to it the entire ride up. And I guarantee you, if you hold tight to it, you will climb to that vision. That's all I want to say to you guys today. It's Friday night. I'm actually going to be doing some work. I hope you're actually hitting your work too. But you got to have some fun on the weekend, so I hope you enjoy your weekend as well. I'll definitely hit you with a video on Saturday. I hope you guys are doing great. And thanks so much for checking out the channel once again. Later.